Alex, I've heard you say before that the countries utilizing AI the best right now, its fullest potential, are the US and in the Middle East. So I wondered if you could expand on that and relate it to what we're seeing here in the kingdom.
Well, I'm delighted to be here. I've been coming here for a long time, and it's a country of very warm, decent, highly competent people, and it's on fire. And, you know, when I got here this time, I sat down with, we hire basically our 22-year-old engineers. They look like 16, and I asked them, well, you know, what's going on here? And they were like, our counterparties are very strong, and they're very patriotic, which we like. It's very hard to organize things in cultures with no end goal. And so what you're seeing on the ground, if you're looking at actual value creation in the physical world that can be quantified, i.e. AI that's not a joke, you're seeing a receptivity in this region, especially in the kingdom, but the receptivity is on the back of people who have a deep tradition in engineering excellence and, quite frankly, believe in their own future. And so obviously the great contradistinction here is Europe, where you know, it's like people have given up. And I really hope that turns around in Europe. But for now, what you're seeing is, and an openness to new ways of doing things, meritocracy. You know, this people underestimate, if you want to do engineering meritocracy, you're much better off here than almost any place in the world. And that ethos and that competence is going to lead to a massive outperformance. And in part because people don't have it, really underestimate what's going to happen here. And so I'm very enthusiastic, and I also kind of like the people here, so that helps.
It's a cultural fit for you. I like the jab at Europe as well. Rajit, how are you building the infrastructure in the country to do this?
Yeah, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Look, at Data Vault, what we are doing as a Saudi company is primarily leveraging of what the kingdom has to offer in terms of building this critical infrastructure at scale, at pace, and at the lowest cost of compute. What we need to recognize that the whole AI boom will lead to the convergence of the price of energy with the price of compute. And the beauty of the kingdom is it has already established itself as the green capital of the world. And energy is produced at the lowest cost, especially renewable energy. And at Oxagon in NEOM, what we are doing is we are building the world's largest AI factory, a 1.5 gigawatt factory, AI factory, the first phase of which is commencing construction in a couple of months from now, $5 billion. And we basically are positioning the kingdom going forward to become the inference capital of the world. And the speed and the pace and the political will, all of them converge to make this reality happen. So I think the socio-economic transformation that the kingdom has been seeing for the last 9 years is now translating into what I call the digital transformation, making it the digital hub of the world in years to come. Thank you.
Marcelo, you also have deep roots here, back to SoftBank days, and now you're on the investing side. Well, you've always been on the investing side of it, but how do you evaluate some of these partnerships and opportunities when you're looking at a market like Saudi Arabia?
So I come from the other side, not from the technology side, and what we've been focused is how can we grab incumbent and actually apply AI to generate most of the value. And the way we look at the world is quite simple, right? We think AI is by far the largest opportunity to create value in our history. Thank God there's so many companies who are investing hundreds of billions of dollars, what I like to say, create the AI factory. And then it's up to us to grab that and apply it to real life companies. And one of the use cases that I'm focused on is, as you know, I'm the largest independent shareholder of T-Mobile. And we've been able to, I would say, pretty much start transforming the company. And we're publicly said that we will increase profitability by $10 billion from 2023 to 2027. And the magnitude of this is, it took us over 120 years of the United companies to make $30 billion. And in 3 years, we should be able to grow that by basically eliminating all customer service, eliminating most of our stores, building our network differently with some partnerships we have in NVIDIA, and a deep partnership with OpenAI. Now, what do I like about this is now we build a center of excellence that's capable of replicating that in other companies, and we're in advanced discussions of a lot of the large enterprises in the kingdom of how can we help them become more efficient.
In the few minutes that we have left, I want to do a lightning round because we have such good leaders here on technology. So if you could do a brief, what excites you the most about AI right now? A use case, something you're seeing technologically. Ruth, go for it.
I would say AlphaFold. My colleagues Demis Hassabis and John Jumper won the Nobel Prize for this in the fall. It is predicting protein structure for all known proteins on the planet. Single biggest contribution to drug discoveries, the way it's described. And since I was here for FII in the fall, Demis has already come out and said we expect we'll see an AI drug in front of the FDA in the near term. So the pace of change is extraordinary. What it means for all of us is extraordinary. And I think it's also a model for how audaciously we should all think about the opportunity with AI.
Majid?
I would say the geoeconomics of what the kingdom has to offer to the entire technology super cycle that we are about to embrace. This is the biggest opportunity. This is the biggest point of excitement.
Arvind?
AI applied to programming. You're going to find programmers are going to become twice as productive, which means there will be more of them, not fewer of them.
Said from a programmer himself.
Yes.
Alex?
It's a very unfair revolution, and there are going to be massive winners, and making sure the winners are the good people and the losers aren't.
That's what excites you.
No.
Marcella?
To me, healthcare, I look at AI as the great equalizer. In the US, we have a company called K-Health that serves as the primary care physician, basically diagnosing and prescribing patients. So my big dream is imagine grabbing that app and send it to emerging countries so everybody can have the same quality of health that we have in countries like the US all over the world through an app. And because today, when you go to a lot of our countries, people go to a pharmacy, and the pharmacist is like the doctor trying to prescribe. And I think this would change the way healthcare is delivered in emerging markets. And to me, it's the great equalizer.
Cristiano?
So I won't pick a particular industry, but one thing that we're incredibly excited about AI. When we think about personal computing, every generation of change in the human-computer interaction drove a phenomenal change from the initial keyboard to mouse to touch. One thing that AI is doing right now, as computers now understand human language, it's fundamentally changed how we interact with any computer. And I think we're very excited about that change that is coming.
Hoffman?
Yeah, I think the things that excite me the most are kind of in the research area. So the ability to do, discovery, and AlphaFold is a perfect example, but I'm talking about maybe, for example, the physical chemistry world, material discovery. There's just so many possibilities of taking all the science and knowledge of humanity and accelerating that experimentation process, which we're going to be able to do today. I mean, we are already finding huge results. AlphaFold is a great example. In the physical chemistry world, we're also working on things. And as we bring robotics into this and embody AI, then that last bottleneck of taking the AI to the real world is going to accelerate discovery and the change of this world.
I'm going to do one more lightning one because you're all here, and I think everyone's very interested to hear from you. The one thing you would watch out for or be concerned about as we dive into the AI future is what, Alex?
It's very dangerous, and if the dangerous bad people get the upper hand, which is possible because a lot of it all looks the same, and some of it's a joke, and some of it's not, and some of it's deadly, we will have a world that is not the one we want. And it's not inherently good. That's where I basically disagree with most people, even on the panel. It is good in the hands of good people. It's not inherently good. It's a dangerous weapon.
Is it in the hands of good people?
Well, it will be.
Okay. Phew. Arvind?
Keep innovation open. You don't want to confine all the victories to only a few players.
Rajiv?
Under-regulation versus over-regulation, which is a little bit building on what Arvind just mentioned. If you want to foster and stimulate innovation, you have to play that balancing game very, very rightly between under-regulation and over-regulation.
Where are we right now?
I think different parts of the world have a different situation. I think US is a little bit underregulated. EU for sure is heavily overregulated at this point of time, but okay, at some point the twain will meet.
Ruth?
I actually think there's an interrelationship between these 2 points because I very much agree with Alex. The phrase we use at Google, consistency, is it is imperative to be bold and responsible. We must protect from the downside in order to have the right and the opportunity to focus on the upside and deliver. And the only way to address some of the biggest social inequities and to deliver solutions, I think, is with AI, but you've got to protect on the downside. The risk if we overregulate is that those who aren't regulated can get ahead, and in particular areas like cybersecurity, which many of us on this panel are focused on. It needs to similarly be a responsible approach to regulation, so we're not restraining it too much in order to protect against this downside risk. And I think Alex is very much right. It's something that we need to collectively stay vigilant about.
Ahmed, what worries you?
I mean, I agree with Alex and all that there is potential. Like we've been here before, there's been many other technologies which have been at the same kind of position. Maybe different, I don't know. But I think democratization is the solution. Really, the availability to all really does prevent the misuse by some, because it really, it means that there's potential others will have similar capabilities. So I think the open source is a fantastic solution. It opens everybody's eyes. There's transparency, and that's where I think we need to go.
Cristiano?
I think I agree with him on the solution. I think one of the things we need to make sure happens is so impactful to so many industries. We need to make sure that every industry has the opportunity to innovate and use AI.
Well, that's also good for your business. Marcelo, what worries you?
Worries me that there's not enough people or companies who truly understand the power of AI, and if they don't act, they will disappear or they will stay behind. So it's a great opportunity for the leaders who adopt it, and there will be so many who are just doing use cases, who are doing proof of concepts, and they will stay behind, and some companies will disappear.
But we're all AI optimists on the stage, right? I don't know about you. Would you call yourself an AI optimist?
Realist.
Realist. Everybody else is an AI optimist because it relates to their business and the economy. Thank you all very much for a great session. We got a lot in a short amount of time. We appreciate it.